السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أنا علي الغزالي وأهلا وسهلا بكم في اللسان. Finally, we delve into the third chapter of the book. Please open your books on the third chapter, which is page number 55. As you can see on the screen here, I have the right page. It says الوحدة الثالثة, the third chapter, titled السكن, which means residency or where you're living. Alright, so let's scroll down to the first hiwar, the first dialogue, and let me zoom in as well as usual. Alright, this hiwar is between Ahmed and Hassan. I'm going to read it for you, so listen carefully and repeat after me. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaykum assalam. أين تسكن؟ أسكن في حي المطار. وأين تسكن أنت؟ أسكن في حي الجامعة. هل تسكن في بيت؟ نعم، أسكن في بيت. وهل تسكن في بيت؟ لا، أسكن في شقة. ما رقم شقتك؟ 5. وما رقم بيتك؟ 9. Now let's go through the dialogue again line by line. They started with the usual تحية السلام عليكم وعليكم السلام, and then Ahmed asks أين تسكن. Of course you should know what أين means by now. Where do you live? So the verb يسكن or تسكن means live, as in reside. So where do you live? And notice he started the present verb with a ta because he's talking to you, anta, where do you live, right? And when Hassan answers, because he's talking about himself, he began the verb with askunu, and we made a video about the present verb. Make sure you check out if you haven't already. أين تسكن? He said askunu, I live, I reside, في حي المطار, in the district of Matar. Now what does Matar mean? Matar means an airport. So he lives in the area or the district of the airport, around the airport. And then he asks him back, وَأَيْنَ تَسْكُنُ أَنْتَ, and where do you live? He said, أَسْكُنُ, again began with a hamza because he's talking about himself. أَسْكُنُ, I live, في حي الجامعة. Again, the word حي means an area or district. He lives in the area of the جامعة. What does جامعة mean? جامعة means university, is what you join after madrasa. So al-madrasa is school, and then you join al-jami'ah after madrasa, which means university. And of course the word hay, as we said, means area. However, the word has another meaning. The word hay as a noun means area, but if you use it as an adjective, then it means living or alive. So right now, alhamdulillah, I'm hay, ana hay, I'm alive. And the opposite of that would be the word mayyit. So the word mayyit means dead. Hay is alive, mayyit is dead. I'm sure if any one of you read the Quran, they would be familiar with the ayah that says يخرج الحي من الميت وَيُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ, that God brings the hayy out of the mayyit, the living thing, out of the dead thing, and he brings the mayyit out of the hayy. Alright. Also, one of the names of Allah, one of the names of God himself is Al-Hayy. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-Hayyu al-Qayyum. He's the eternally living, the one who never died and will never die. أسكن في حي الجامعة. I mean, in this context, of course, it has nothing to do with living. It means area. Okay, I live in the area of al-Jami'ah. And then Hassan says, هل تسكن في بيت? Do you live? Again, this is a yes or no question, as indicated by هل. هل تسكن في بيت? Do you live in a بيت? And what does بيت mean? Means a house, right? The word بيت means house. So do you live in a house? He said نعم أسكن في بيت. And he asked him the same question, وهل تسكن في بيت? And do you live in a house? He said لا أسكن في شقة. So he doesn't live in a bait, but he lives in a shaqqa. And what does a shaqqa mean? Of course, it's a flat or an apartment. So he lives in a flat. And then Ahmed says, ما رقم شقتك? Of course, ma is the question word what, as we covered it before. We said masmuka, what's your name, right? So ma raqmu. Now what does the word raqam mean? It means number. So what is the number of your shaqqatika? What's the number of your apartment? He said khamsa. And then he asked him, wama raqmu baytika? And what is the number of your house, of your bayt? He said tis'a. Now that's pretty much the dialogue. Of course, I added the new words as usual on the side for us to go through them quickly again. So we said Hay means area, district. Hay as an adjective means alive, and the opposite would be mayyit. Matar is an airport, right? And I thought I would add some relevant words that has to do with matar. So ta'ira is a plane, right? And if I remove the feminine ta, ta'ir is usually the word we use to refer to a bird. So a bird is ta'ir, and a plane is ta'irah, and matar is airport. And you can probably notice that they have letters in common, as in the ta, the alif, and the ra, because these nouns come from the same root. They are derived from the same root. They all have to do with flying. All right. So matar, ta'irah, ta'ir. And this is something that you'll notice quite often in the Arabic language, that words that have something in common usually come from the same root, and you'll notice that they have common letters. All right. And then Jami'a, of course, is a university. Bayt, we said it means house. And the Jam'a, the plural of buyut, remember, we said you should always try and memorize as many plurals as you can. Bayt, is a house. Buyut is houses. Shaqqa is an apartment or flat. The Jam' is shuqaq, flats. And then, of course, the word raqam means number. All right, so let's move on to the next hiwar. Next hiwar is between al-mustajir and al-mu'ajjir. Now, the word mustajir means the one who's renting, as in looking to rent a flat, the potential tenant. And al-mu'ajjir is the renter, as in the landlord, okay? So this hiwar is between someone who's looking to rent a flat and the landlord. السلام عليكم وعليكم السلام أريد شقة من فضلك لدينا شقة جميلة كم غرفة في الشقة؟ في الشقة 5 غرف في أي دور الشقة؟ الشقة في الدور 5 أريد مشاهدة الشقة تفضل ادخل هذا باب الشقة هذه شقة جميلة. Alright, so let's go through it again line by line. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Uridu. This is a new verb that we learn in this chapter, a very useful one you'll be using all the time. Uridu means I want, right? And of course the hamza at the beginning changes and switches depending on who's doing that verb, who's wanting, right? So if it's me, I would say uridu, I want. If it's you, anta turidu. If it's you and you're a female, it would be turidina. If it's he, huwa yuridu, and of course hiya turidu. So uridu, I want. Shaqqatan, I want a flat or an apartment. Min fadlik. Min fadlik is a very common way of saying please, right? So min fadlik means please. I want a flat, please. Al-mu'ajjir says لدينا شقة جميلة. So لدينا here is also a very useful word. It's actually a combination of two words. So the word lada means has or possesses, and the na in this case would be translated to we. So لدينا means we have. Alright? شقة جميلة. We said شقة means a flat, and the adjective جميلة means beautiful. Alright, so we have a beautiful flat. Now notice something very important here. In the Arabic language, the noun comes before the adjective. So if you're describing something, you mention the noun first, what you're describing, and then you describe it using the adjective. Unlike English. So in English, you would say a beautiful apartment, but in Arabic we say شقة, apartment, جميلة. And that works with all adjectives. Alright? شقة جميلة. ولد كبير. I don't say كبير ولد. I say ولد كبير. بنت صغيرة. A small or a young girl. Again, pay attention to this rule, because many English speakers, when they're speaking Arabic, they mix up the adjective and the noun, and they start with the adjective. It's a very common mistake. Alright, لدينا شقة جميلة. We have a beautiful شقة. He said, كم غرفة في الشقة. Now we covered the question word كم before, and we said it means how many, right? So how many or how much. But in this case, how many غرفة, how many rooms in the شقة, في الشقة. Now the landlord says, في الشقة 5 غرف. In the flat, there is 5 غرف. And غرف, of course, is the plural of the word غرفة. So غرفة means room, and غرف means rooms. Alright? And then المستأجر goes, في أي دور الشقة. في means in. أي is a question word, and we said it means which, right? In which. دور. What does دور mean? دور means a floor. Not as in the floor, a floor, a story in a building. Alright? So he lives in the 5th floor, or the flat is in the 5th floor. The word خامس means 5th. And then he says, أريد مشاهدة الشقة, which means I want. أريد, as we said, means I want. And the word مشاهدة means to view or viewing. I want to view the flat. أريد مشاهدة الشقة. So the landlord says, تفضل. The word تفضل is a polite word of saying please, come in. We can also use it in other situations, like if I want to give you something but I want to be more polite, I would say تفضل. It's a very polite word. So he said تفضل, like please, أدخل. Now what does أدخل mean? أدخل is the first command verb that we learn in this book, and inshallah I'll make a dedicated video about فعل الأمر, the command verb, and how to convert فعل مضارع to فعل أمر, present to command. It's very simple. But أدخل means come in or enter. Please enter. هذا باب الشقة. هذا, this is bab. The word bab means door. This is the door of the shaqqa. Sorry, the word shaqqa is not complete in my book. So هذا باب الشقة is supposed to be like a feminine ta here. So this is the door of the flat. هذا باب الشقة. So he says in the end, هذه شقة جميلة, and we said جميلة means beautiful. Now on the side here, as usual, I added the keywords of the dialogue. So we said min fadlik means please. A very common alternative of min fadlik would be لو سمحت. In Egypt we use لو سمحت more often, which also means please. And we said the word لدى means has or have, and it comes before, you know, the possessor, the person who is having. So if I want to say Muhammad has a pen, then I say لدى محمد. لدى محمد. Muhammad has a قلم. لدى محمد قلم. Or لدى فاطمة كتاب. That means Fatima has a book. And I can also add pronouns to it. So if I want to say I have, then I simply say لدي. I add the ya. I have. لدينا is we have. لديك is you have if you're a male. لديك, that means you have if you're female. لديه or لديه as well, that means he has. And لديها, that means she has. These are very, very useful words. I really recommend that you memorize them sooner before later. And then we said Jamil means beautiful. I thought I'd add the opposite, which is قبيح. So Jamil means beautiful, قبيح means ugly, of course. We said غرفة is a room, and the plural is غرف. And then دور is a floor. And then of course bab means a door, and the jam' of bab is the word abwab. And then we have a bunch of verbs here. We said yushahidu means to view or to watch, and of course the ya would change depending on who's doing it. So ushahidu means I watch. Yuridu is to want. Uridu is I want. Yadkhulu, enter. And the opposite of yadkhulu would be the verb yakhruju. So adkhulu, I enter. Akhruju, I exit or I leave. So make sure you got these covered as well. And that wraps it up for this dialogue. And inshallah we have one more dialogue in this chapter. We'll leave it for next lesson. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, the usual stuff. And I'll be seeing you very soon. Assalamu alaikum.